They are there, as you said, facing the police officers. Many of them are. At times they break out into chants. They've got signs there. Some are holding signs. From what we're seeing, this is the last group, I would say, of the demonstrators and protesters that we have seen out here throughout the day here in the city, making their voices heard over the death of Rayshard Brooks. But this group is very quiet. When I say quiet, perhaps that's not the word I want to use. The word I'd rather use is this is a peaceful demonstration. These demonstrators are peaceful as compared to what we've seen earlier in the day. The unrest, the violence, the Wendy's being set on fire. This group has solely been standing here. They've been chanting. They've been taking pictures at times. Right now, it's clear that they are talking with the police, perhaps from the tone that the officer has taken. Perhaps there is some challenging of law enforcement going on there. But right now there is no real discourse there, and that is good to see. There is a large contingency of police, some of which we can see, some of which we saw earlier come past our cameras, and with the zip ties there. Initially, I thought that perhaps they were ready to move this crowd out and perhaps ready to make some arrests if they didn't move out, but that did not happen. Yes. Those officers, Tom Soley, just kind of walked past and went on their way.
It's an interesting scene playing out. I don't know if the photographer who's behind the live camera right now can zoom in a little bit more. You were real tight a second ago, but there's a kind of an interesting scene, playing out here between that officer that we see squarely in the middle of the shot and some of the people that are around him, and it looks like they're talking to each other. I don't know what they're saying or what the tone of the conversation is, but usually we see officers pretty stone-faced, and words and expressions and profanities being hurled at these officers, and they just stand there and sort of listen to it and take it. But this is definitely a back and forth happening right here, and it looks like a lot of those people that are standing there on the scene are listening and engaging that officer. And I don't know if the conversation is limited to the one officer in the helmet there, or if there are others there taking part in the conversation as well. But it looks like a kind of impassioned dialogue taking place there between that police officer and the people, Deidre, who seem to be so intently listening to what he's saying.
And we have seen that not only played out here on the streets of Atlanta during these demonstrations and riots here over the past several weeks, but across the country, haven't we, Tom? Where you have had law enforcement officers and demonstrators actually engage, have conversations. We have seen just in our own city over the past weekends when we've seen situations potentially grow volatile, where we've had demonstrators actually working with police to bring things down, to bring a calm to a situation, and even on one occasion where they actually helped demonstrators working with police help disperse what had become quite a potentially volatile situation just a few weekends ago. And so we really have seen this played out time and time again. Of course, we're not